A private jet can cost anywhere between $2 and $200 million. This of course depends on the size, range, model, all the custom fit-outs you do, features, and for those who are frequent flyers, flying commercial, even if it's first class, is just not cutting it. The long lines are just bad enough, but the lack of personal touch to the suites and fixed menus leave a lot to the imagination. So given that $2 million could make your problems go away, you might think of investing in your own personal jet. But before you do that, you should know that $2 million is not the only thing you're going to pay. Before we begin this video, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at how much private jets really cost. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and yeah, leave a big thumbs up below. According to Forbes, you need a private plane only if you fly more than 400 hours a year. But if you just want a plane and you want to give your friends and family an incredible experience, you can go ahead and buy one. That is, if you have the money for it. But regardless of where and how you frequently want to fly, you'll be faced with substantial ongoing expenses. So if you go for a private plane, you might as well shell out for the very best. This means you can't settle for a $2 million plane. A good one will cost anywhere between $40 and $45 million at least. And even then, you're not even close to done. Since it's your jet, you'll have to personalize it, and we're not just talking about monogrammed hand towels. Fully customized interiors will cost you about $30 to $35 million, and the wider body planes will come to $90 million. But it is well worth it. You won't have to look far for designers either, since popular companies like Boeing and Airbus already have tie-ups with design firms, specializing in interior work for planes. And of course, if you want to have a super personalized plane, you can hire your own designer. And as we know, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, a Saudi businessman and philanthropist, has a private jet most people cannot even dream about. A Turkish bath, a concert hall, and even 2 car garages for his Rolls-Royce. The only thing stopping you is your imagination. But it's safe to say this customization costs way more than $90 million. Not just for the plane, although that's pretty important too. Hull insurance will come to about $35,000 and a single limit liability will reach $12,500 for a total of $47,000. But this will vary according to the size of your plane, average flight hours, and how old it is. Buying a second-hand aircraft will run up the cost of insurance. Then of course, there's insurance for your pilot and other crew members. If you want to park your plane in a hangar, the cost will come up to $160,000 per year, and smaller airports will run to about $80,000 to $85,000 a year. But you can always just build your own hangar at home. That is, if your house didn't come with it at all. Building a hangar can cost about $350 per square foot, and a small hangar is typically 810 square feet in total. So your own personal hangar will cost you close to $284,000. And the cost will run higher if you want to deck it out with a lounge and a bar as well. Because why not? Another thing you'll have to account for is landing fees. That's right, in every airport you land in, you have to pay a landing fee. The prices vary between airports, and if it's a particularly busy airport, you can expect the cost to be higher. The money generated from landing fees goes to pay for maintenance of the airport and runway expansions. But you will be provided with your own gate and check-in facilities as part of the agreement. If you're just stopping by to refuel, you won't have to pay, but most airports charge about $100 to $500 per touchdown. If you plan to stay a while, the most expensive airport to touch down in is Tokyo. The landing fees here come in a jaw-dropping $7,000. Then of course, there's the refuel. Fueling up a jet is not like fueling up your car for a quick trip. You might need a savings account just for gas. Smaller, more popular jets will take less gas of course, but also give you less miles. But in their strive to be more eco-friendly, the new jets offer a good range for less fuel. But in any case, a private plane typically takes 7,000 gallons of fuel, and that is going to cost you about $14,000. If you're going to jet across the world, you're going to need a crew to wait on you, to ensure you have a comfortable trip. Sure, it's a private jet, but the pressure of flying 30,000 feet in the air is still the same, so you'll need a crew to ease the tension. And it is important to not look for a bargain here, because your pilot will be responsible for your life. A pilot generally earns $120,000 a year, and a flight stewardess makes $60,000 a year. And let's not forget, one of the perks of flying in your own jet is not having to deal with a prefixed menu. You have the luxury of having a private chef on board, and that will cost you an additional $70,000 to $80,000 a year. your cost will easily go up to $200,000, and that doesn't include your cruise expenses, and also overnight stays. If you plan to stay in different cities overnight, your crew will need accommodations too, and you will have to bear the cost of that. Plus, give them a spending allowance for food and sightseeing. All of that comes out of your own pocket. Another recurring expense is de-icing your plane, and that is to remove ice, snow, and frost from the surface. The chemicals used to do it also delays ice from reforming or prevents ice from sticking to the body of the plane, so removal becomes easy. It keeps your plane performing and looking like a brand new jet. Airports usually provide the service for about $200. For another $30, you can preheat the aircraft before takeoff, but de-icing isn't the only maintenance work you'll have to do. Once a jet is out of warranty, maintenance fees will be paid out of the owner's pocket. Regularly flying over 500 miles an hour is bound to take a toll on your jet, and it's likely to suffer somewhere. Typically, the frequency of the maintenance check depends on the aircraft. And still, preventive maintenance should be performed on an aircraft that flies 25 hours or less, and minor maintenance should be performed after 100 hours of flying. Depending on the climate, operation, and storage facilities, these hours can come down or go up. General maintenance should be performed regularly, while unexpected repairs should also be accounted for. Everything from inspections and overhaul to upgrades and modifications will cost you anywhere between $700,000 to $4 million. The cost, of course, will vary according to the plane's model and the kind of repair work required. But even a cracked window or windshield can cost about $45,000 to $70,000. A tire can cost about $3,000. And let's not forget the cleaning cost too. You cannot have your interior looking old. You can do this anywhere, but the states where your jet is registered will have its own set of requirements. Now, one way to make your money back is to make your jet available for others. But keep in mind that if you're renting it out, you will need to pay a company to manage that for you. So what does the final cost come to? Well, it's hard to give a number. There are way too many variables. But one thing's for sure is that it's not cheap. I mean, if you rent the plane instead of buying it, you get the one-of-a-kind experience of flying and absolute privacy with none of the commitment. Large leather seats, giant screen TVs, free Wi-Fi on board, the list goes on. Renting a private jet will cost you about $1,300 to $3,000 an hour, and that's for a smaller jet, and $4,000 to $8,000 for a mid-sized jet, which is suitable for about 9 passengers. And $8,000 to $13,000 an hour for a larger jet that can seat 14 to 19 people. Definitely not your average ticket price. So, do you think a private jet is worth it? Tell us in the comments below. And also, if you learned something today, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and of course, activate notifications so you never miss out on any future uploads.